Hey Mystic, how you doing? Welcome to Modern Mystic Messages. I'm Teresa. Thank you so much for stopping by on the video. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. Family, it's such a beautiful day. I had to come out here earlier. The sun was too bright on the patio, but I'm enjoying this weather, and the mosquitoes aren't out, so you might hear some surrounding sounds. We're just gonna have to work with it because I'm feeling too good outside to go in. But I wanted to share some stuff with you. I've had a lot of things on my mind. I know last week I thought we were going to jump right in day by day, and several things that I didn't plan for. And truthfully, I could make all kinds of excuses for it. Um, there was some renovations going on, and then the lawn people came, and then I had a very uncomfortable conversation that I had to have with someone I care for very much. And all of those things can put me in a headspace. But I was sitting there today on the patio thinking, and truthfully, at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, like, really, what's taking you so long? And I'm not saying it to be overly critical because that's the reason I wanted to make this video, because I think this is something that gets a lot of us stuck. We see people online on whatever, and oh, they had an instant awakening and they're forever transformed and they instantly know their purpose and they jump right into it, and the next thing you know, they've blown up mega famous and they're some great guru and all of those good things. But it doesn't happen like that for everyone, and it certainly hasn't happened like that for me. And I wanted to be a little more transparent about that because I am aware that some of the folks here on the channel are going through some of the same things that I'm going through. So you think, what? Why has it taken so long? You had the awakening, some of us 10, 15 years ago. You got pulled into the conspiracy theories, and then that didn't quite go where it wanted. So you pulled out of conspiracy theories and went a little further down the spiritual rabbit hole. And it may have taken you a few years to get that part together. And then, of course, you had to go through your karmic lessons and closing those cycles and people falling away and all of that. And then you had to sit in solitude long enough to understand you have some complex trauma behind that that you need to go within and do your shadow work. We ain't even gonna talk about that in the dark night of the soul because several rounds of that later, you think, okay, I'm healed, I've forgiven, I've peeled away all of the karmic stuff I need to. So why haven't I just taken off like this shot, this great vision that you see, all of these beautiful things that you've been shown and that you want to do and you believe you're called to, and yet you're still stuck? What's up with that? And I really got to thinking about it, and it's been layers for me. And one of the things that I thought I was going to talk about a little earlier, and we may get into later, of course, and again, some folks will look at you and say, you're just making excuses. It's not an excuse. Your healing is not an excuse, regardless of what your realizations are. Some of us have discovered that we really did have some for real karmics in the background, not only just throwing shade, but some of them actually doing spell work, whether it was with their intentions or actually going to see practitioners, whatnot. Some of us, the ones that are healing for real, doing ancestral work and healing like generational curses, may have come here under curses and spell work that we were unaware of. Just because you don't choose to believe that or what, that doesn't mean you ain't affected by it. You don't have to believe in electricity. If you stick your finger in a light socket, you'll find out it was kind of real. And so some of us have had to really unravel some of those things that we were unaware of. And the deeper you go into your healing work, your meditation work, you start becoming aware of more of these things. And then you got to peel back and do some more work. I was raised in a very fundamental Christian household that didn't do anything, had nothing to do with spell work, wouldn't even read the horoscope in a newspaper. That doesn't mean I wasn't under ancestral curses. It doesn't mean people weren't doing spell work on me. Took me years, decades to figure that out because I chose not to believe. And then once I found out that it really was true, it still took some time to unravel that. And truthfully, it wasn't until I got to a point where I could stop being programmed by the religiosity of my upbringing and understand that the ancestors really were with me, and the things that I was hearing clairaudiently were messages the spirit was trying to wake me up to make me aware of some of the things that were being done so that I could cleanse and protect myself and ask for guidance from my angels and ancestors to get some of that stuff off of me. They tell us in the scriptures, we war not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. And that is for sure real. And if you have those, well, ultimately, we all have powers and principalities we're warring against. If you're a chosen one, if you're awakening in this age of Aquarius, if you're stepping out of the traditions and the status quo and stepping forward as creators of New Earth, trust and believe you have a battle against powers and principalities. Please do not convince yourself that you don't, because it will only slow down your process. So I appreciate your patience with me, all 99 of you here on the channel. And truthfully, when I started this YouTube channel, I thought by now I would have blown up and been another Aaron Abke or Aaron Daughtery or whoever. Teal. I've watched so many content creators blow up, and I am so grateful that they didn't get a hitch in their giddy up and they put information out there because it's been most helpful. But if it doesn't happen like that for you, that doesn't mean it's not happening. That means you might have had a different walk to go through. You may have had more things to overcome because your walk and the insights that you get along the way might be different than someone else's walk and their insights. Somebody that has an overnight awakening that doesn't have to do 12 rounds of dark night of the soul and shadow work might not have that much empathy for people that are having to deal with losing their entire family, or literally losing children and loved ones, or having to completely upend their entire spiritual system, belief system, or whatever it is for you. So as I was sitting there kind of with the why is it taking you so long? It's like my guide, spirit, angels, whatever you want to call it, well, like, stop beating yourself up. Stop being so hard on yourself. The main thing is, regardless how long it takes, you're showing up every day. You're not giving up. Even the days when you just get dressed and get ready to do it and sit out there stuck in your head and you still can't hit record, or you still can't get up there and write that blog post, or you still can't get out there and work on your spiritual business. You're still showing up and heading towards that because however long it took you to get to this point, now that you've seen the things that you've seen, you can't unsee them. And that's the main thing. So you're doing the best you can. I'm doing the best I can. It doesn't always look pretty, but we keep on showing up. So, and truthfully, at the end of the day, if you think about it, why is it taking so long? In the spiritual sense of things, since time is not linear, that's a construct that we've been programmed with. It really hasn't taken that long. We're just impatient. We want that instant awakening and the instant manifestation and the instant ascension and all of that. Well, if you had a lot of karmic lessons to learn and graduate from while you're here, unraveling all of that, even after you graduated those lessons, processing it and understanding it might not be instant for you. So be gentle with yourself, baby. You're doing just fine. And you're going to get there too, because we're all walking each other home. And if you stay tuned here, I'm not letting go. And I'm asking you not to let go either. We're going to walk each other home. I love you so much, family. I do ask you If you got benefit from the video, please give it a thumbs up. I am, like I said, right now, we're really small, but we are trying to get bigger because Spirit has put some important things on my heart to share with you. And I do want to get to where we are getting the message to more people. So please subscribe if you haven't already and give the video a thumbs up. And also, I am this weekend, we're going to start talking about the um, the Lost Book of Enki, as well as looking into some of the scriptures. I know we're here on the religious holiday, Christian holiday of Easter, and I even want to talk about that too. I debated whether I was going to discuss it because I didn't want to offend anyone, but truthfully, Yeshua came here to offend folks. And as I'm walking in his steps, he's put it on my heart to speak the truth about what he was doing and saying while he was here. So there might be a few people that don't like what I have to say, but I can't just keep ducking and dodging around religious holidays as to whether or not I'll speak because truthfully, that's the time I really do need to speak because trust and believe if you don't understand, Easter is not what you think it is. And truthfully, those who really, really love Yeshua need to stop celebrating Easter. We're reenacting a blood sacrifice and a generational curse, not only upon the beautiful Christos, Yeshua HaMashiach, but even upon ourselves by participating in it. And that's what we need to understand and step away from. The time for truth is upon us. He promised us he would not leave us as orphans and that he would come. Well, he didn't promise. That's the thing. We talk about his resurrection at the second coming, and we'll get into that in the next one because I don't want this to be too long. But Yeshua never ever told anybody he was coming back in physical form. We look for the second coming of the Christ, but the second coming of the Christ is more aptly the second coming of Christ, that Christic knowledge. We'll talk more about that later, though. I do appreciate you sitting out here on the patio with me for a few minutes, family. I love you ever so much. And until next time, peace and blessings to you. Namaste.